Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as we do each and every day. Bitcoin approaching 65 Gs. Also, the latest breaking news I'll be sharing with you, as well as the judge denying Kraken's request to dismiss the SEC claims alleging the exchange operated as an unregistered securities broker. And big news, Telegram founder Pavel arrested. What we know so far, and a lot of conspiracies and a lot of things to share with you regarding this attack on free speech. We'll also be discussing, will the Telegram linked Toncoin actually bounce back after Pavel's arrest? It dumped 15% yesterday, another 15% today. We'll be discussing this, as well as there's a big bull run Russia coming, which can send Bitcoin to 100,000 per coin, according to Dan Tapriero. We'll also be discussing the latest from Jan 3's Samson Mow, predicting Bitcoin to hit $1 million per coin within the next 12 months. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. But first, a reminder, if you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes, then subscribe and hit the bell icon. Turn on all notifications. That way you receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Today is pod episode number 1740. I'm your host, JV, and it's August 25th, 2024. We've been pumping since Friday. Nice green bullish candle. We had like a $5,000 pump. We're still back in the green as of today, maintaining 64.3, looking to retest 65,000. I personally feel once we can break clean above that, 70,000 is the next psychological resistance. 73.8 is the current all-time high. So once we hit 74, we're in price discovery mode. I feel it's inevitable here coming up. I think September is going to be bullish. I think the rest of the year is going to be bullish, especially Q4 entering October, November, December. 125,000 in play, in my humble opinion. But let me know your thoughts, and let's get right into today's market watch. You should be able to see Coin 360 on your screen. You can see Bitcoin pretty even actually for the day, but maintaining above 64.3. Ether down about 1%, just under 2,800. Solana down 1%, trading just under 160. We have XRP in the red, Matic in the blood red, Tron in the green, up 3.5%. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at $2.26 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap sits at $1.268 trillion. We got 53 billion of volume past 24 hours, with the current Bitcoin dominance currently at 56.2%, with the Ether dominance at 14.7%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we got FET up 5%, Tron up 3%, and Tau up 2%. Very modest gains because the majority of the market's correcting and in the red. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the daily. You can see Toncoin suffering. Again, Ton is ultimately the project of Telegram. Telegram founder is now in prison or in jail, some BS we're going to be discussing later. We have Notcoin down 19%, the majority of the market correcting and in the red. Zooming out on the monthly, we get a broader perspective. Rex City here as well for the alts. Safe to say maybe 80 to 85% of the market wrecked. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Today we're neutral with a 54. Yesterday was a 56 back in greed. Last week a 31 fear, and last month a 68. In greed. So there you have it. And checking out the time chain calendar, a new metric I like to share with you guys. We're currently on block 858,406. And the current conversion of how many Satoshis you can get for a single US dollar is 1,555. I would like to assume every single one of you in the chat right now is a Satoshi millionaire, because it only requires roughly, I'm going to speculate, $600 to become a Satoshi millionaire at this price. So if you're not already, what are you waiting for? Stack those sats. And if you're brand new to Bitcoin and you don't know what we're saying when we say stack sats or Satoshis, one Bitcoin can be divided by 100 million Satoshis. And again, right now you can get 1,555 Satoshis per US dollar, which means by the time Bitcoin is $1 per Satoshi, Bitcoin will be $100 million per coin. By the time a Satoshi is 10 cents, Bitcoin will be $10 million per coin. And by the time a Satoshi is 1 penny, Bitcoin will be $1 million per coin. But anyways, fam, let's continue with today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts. We'll also be pulling up some of the live charts, all the latest news. If you're just joining the stream, remember this is live and interactive, so please join us on the YouTube, cryptonewsalerts.net. That way you can interact in the chat. And between the stories, I'm going to be reading all your comments out loud. Then at the end of the show, we do like a 1-hour Q&A session where you can ask me anything you like, which is my favorite part of the show. But anyways, let's kick it off with today's TA, aka Astrology for the Broskies. Headline here reads, Bitcoin chart signals a possible extremely quick move to 68,000. If you'd like to see 68,000 with the quickness, holla at your boy. Crypto traders are spotting a pattern forming on the Bitcoin price chart that may possibly lead to its price moving closer to reclaiming its 2021 all-time highs. And in August 24th analysis video, we have Mr. Crypto, who pointed to the Bitcoin price chart, explaining when Bitcoin breaks above the 64,000 level, which we're currently above, it is very likely to return towards the 68,000 level, which it hasn't reached since July 30th. Let me know if you agree with that. The approach to 68 Gs would lead traders to speculate on when it might surpass its 2021 all-time high of 68,991, a key level closely watched thus far this year. And at this time, Bitcoin's trading just above that level. However, it only broke above 64,000 on August 23rd, which was Friday, for the first time in 20 days. And it struggled to hold above before retracing back to 63.5. A breakthrough came after dovish comments from U.S. Fed Chairman Jay Powell, which further boosted confidence amongst U.S. investors that interest rate cuts are underway. Although he didn't really give an exact timeline. 64,000 was previously seen as a key support for Bitcoin following the months after the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETFs, which officially went live here in the States January 11th. However, a recent downturn on August 5th, otherwise known as the Crypto Black Monday, saw this level switch into resistance for the biddy. Now, Mr. Crypto warned investors that the Bitcoin price is unlikely to make any major moves over the weekend, and its price is likely to consolidate around its current level. Meanwhile, another trader, Elja, shared that it's time for the bulls to push Bitcoin towards 68 to 70 Gs. I'm all for that. Let me know your thoughts. Now, when the RSI is above 70, it's an indicator that the market might be overbought. And when it's below 30, it suggests the market might be oversold. Bitcoin's RSI is currently at 66.11, according to BitBo data. And during Bitcoin's all-time high of 73.6 in March this year, the RSI surged to 79. So there you have it. And before we pull up the live charts, here's some of the breaking news. Plan B pointed out Bitcoin is a stable coin now. We've been at this 60,000 level for so long. It feels like deja vu, doesn't it? And checking out some of the live charts. This is the 1 hour. Let me switch the scene so you can see it nice and clean. Should be able to see that. There we go. So you can see right now, this is the 1 hour chart. We do have a very bullish target as well as a bullish pennant. And the bullish pennant target is sitting at 68,600. 68 in play. Most likely that's going to be this week. Hopefully Monday we continue our ascension towards that level. Let me know your thoughts on that. And let's zoom out to get some different looks. Here's the 4 hour. And again, this is live and in the flesh via TradingView, via Coinbase exchange, the #1 Bitcoin exchange here in the United States. And you can see pretty much sideways action on the 4 hour chart. Yesterday, starting Friday, we had the bullish run up, you know what I mean? But right now it's pretty flat line. Let's check out the 1 day chart. You can see here, again, big green candle, which we just recently had. We do have a target sitting all the way down at 47.7, and we do have a local low we achieved maybe a week or two ago, which is 49. We were on our way to 70. We were just shy. We dropped all the way to 49, and now we're back to 64. And expect more extreme volatility, as I've been preaching to you guys each and every day, especially post-halving at a time like this in the cycle. This is the 1 week chart, which is typically the most bullish. We still have that fantastic cup and handle pattern sitting at 125 Gs. And zooming out a little further, we're going to look at the 1 month chart. Also, a lot of sideways trading action. We had a very bearish June, July. August, we only got less than a week left to go. Let's see if we close green or red. It can go either way. And then moving into September, I'm optimistic we're going to get a green monthly candle close all throughout the fourth quarter of 2024, leading into a very parabolic 2025 with a new all-time high, which could be multiple six figures in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts, family, and I'll read your comments out loud. Our next story, let's discuss the latest with Kraken versus the SEC. Then we'll dive into the latest with the Telegram founder being arrested and facing 20 years in prison, BS charges for being unwilling to hand over his free speech platform to the government. Yeah. Anyways, this headline reads, Judge denies Kraken's request to dismiss SEC claims alleging the exchange operated as an unregistered securities broker. A judge shot down Kraken's request to dismiss the claims made by the U.S. SEC, alleging the exchange violated security laws. That's right. Last November, the SEC charged Kraken with operating its crypto trading platform as an unregistered securities exchange, broker-dealer, and clearing agency. And earlier this year, Kraken filed in the U.S. District Court to dismiss those charges, positing that the SEC's claims would widen the definition of investment contracts and expand the regulator's jurisdiction outside of its delegated responsibility. Sounds like a clear example of overreach. Now, on Friday, U.S. District Judge William Orrick denied the exchange's request, ruling the SEC plausibly alleged that at least some of the crypto transactions that Kraken facilitates on its network constitute investment contracts and therefore securities and are accordingly subject to security laws. The SEC argues that Kraken hawked more than 11 different crypto asset securities on its platform and was required by law to register with the regulator. Those alleged securities include Cardano, Algorand, Cosmos, Filecoin, Flow, ICP, Decentraland, Polygon, Near Protocol, OMG Network, and Solana. Now, Judge Orrick notes that the SEC just needed to plausibly allege at least one of those crypto assets was an investment contract to move forward with the lawsuit. So he just focused on Solana and Algorand in his ruling, outlining descriptions of both projects provided on Kraken's website. Explains Orrick here, the SEC has plausibly alleged investors in crypto assets offered on Kraken possessed an expectation of profits from the efforts of others that they derive from the promoter's representations that Kraken republished and reasserted on its platform. Whether or not the record ultimately supports that allegation will be revealed through discovery. The judge also set a proposed cause or case schedule and trial date will be filed in October. Well, I'll tell you this, I'm definitely rooting for Kraken. I feel the SEC has been shaking down unlawfully all the major exchanges. I mean, Binance CEO had to pay $4.3 billion, went to prison for 6 months. We're referring to CZ. Coinbase, I don't know how many lawsuits there have been against Brian Armstrong and Coinbase. Kraken, in fact, settled with the SEC roughly a year ago for a $30 million fine. They paid the $30 million. Then after they paid, the SEC launched another unlawful lawsuit against Kraken. So talk about the ultimate shakedown and overreach. And I don't think this is a coincidence. They're literally going after any exchange. They know they have a lot of money and they can get it. And it's very unfortunate, but this is the situation at hand. I'm praying for a victory for the exchanges because I just pray for losses and L's on Gary Gensler's bald head as well as the SEC. Now let's get to a big story, big news. I mean, I heard this yesterday and my mind was like exploding with like no freaking way. But yeah, it's true. Telegram founder Pavel arrested, and here's what we know so far. And before I dive deep into the story, because this is a very detailed one, let's just read some of the tweets on behalf of after this news broke. President of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, wrote, El Salvador is not only the safest country in the Western Hemisphere, but we also guarantee you will not be arrested, censored, or have your assets seized for exercising your right to free speech. Oh, and there's no property tax. Shout out legendary Nayib Bukele and respect right there. Now, Max Kaiser wrote off the back of this guy by the name of Guy who wrote something stupid. Telegram sits at the center of the global cyber crime. Free speech is not without responsibilities. Then Max Kaiser responded, crawl into a hole and shut the frick up. We fought a revolutionary war and won against European somethings like you. We are set to come back and finish the job, a-hole. You exist for as long as it's convenient for the United States. Don't push or you'll reap the whirlwind. Much respect to the high priest of Bitcoin. He has spoken. Max also tweeted here, number 1, do you understand now why Satoshi chose to remain anonymous? And number 2, everyone connected materially with the ish coins, ETH, Cardano, BNB, Solana, XRP, Tron, plus 30,000 others can have that same exact thing happen to them. Only Bitcoin is secure. What is he talking about? Well, as soon as word got out that Pavel, the founder of Telegram, got arrested, what happened to Toncoin? Crashed 15% yesterday, crashed another 15% today. No Ishcoin is safe. Why is that? Because there's an attack vector named CEO. Bitcoin CEO is Satoshi. They can't get Satoshi. And that's what makes it so different, decentralized, and common sense. Now, also, I put here, stack Bitcoin and do push-ups every day. Train your body to protect your mind. Here's a tweet off of Andrew Tate. I was with Pavel at his mansion in Dubai a week before my incarceration in 2022. We were eating a meal prepared by his team of chefs. I told him they were coming for me. He paused, waiting for the starters to be taken away and the mains to be brought. A full 2 minutes later, he replied, they're coming for everyone. Build yourself, brother. I did thousands of push-ups on sleepless nights. Push-ups never abandon you. They are loyal. They are always there. Train your body to protect your mind. Your day will come. Hashtag free Pavel. Very powerful words there, family. But yeah, let's dive in a little deeper. What's really going on right now with this sad story. Telegram founder and CEO Pavel was detained by French authorities in relation to a search warrant targeting alleged violations of the encrypted messaging platform. According to Le Monde and other French media outlets, he was arrested at the airport of Paris after landing in his private jet, which he had traveled from Azerbaijan. Now, he cited sources close to the case confirming his arrest. At the same time, a Bloomberg report noted that Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria also corroborated the information in a Telegram post. So let's discuss the search warrant issued. According to the reports, the agency that oversees crimes against minors issued a search warrant as part of a preliminary investigation into Telegram. The AFP reported that the alleged offenses range from fraud, drug trafficking, cyberbullying, and organized crime. Numerous reports note the investigation is rooted in Telegram's attack or alleged lack of content moderation. They're currently coordinating an investigation into him and Telegram. The message platform CEO is reportedly expected to appear on court today, the 25th. Some reports claim that he could face up to 20 years in prison due to the nature of the alleged offenses. Now, here's the impact on Toncoin as a result. The open network Ton, third-party blockchain protocol that the messaging platform has integrated into its service, claims to remain fully operational in the hours after the arrest. Here's the official statement from Ton. Now, they said, as a community committed to freedom of speech and decentralization, we stand firmly with Pavel during this challenging time. Telegram has yet to comment on the arrest. And meanwhile, let's also discuss Elon's been doing a lot of posts as well. Tesla founder Elon took to his social media platform yesterday and shared a previous interview between Durov, who is Pavel, and independent journalist Tucker Carlson with the hashtag Free Pavel. He also made a tweet more recently before I went live, and he said it's the year 2030, and people are getting arrested for liking memes. This seems to be the way we're heading if we don't stand up for our free speech, family. This is important. In the video, Pavel said that Musk's takeover of Twitter had been a positive development for technological innovation and the provision of free speech. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik also weighed in on the topic on a post on X by American entrepreneur and investor Balaji. Buterin said he previously criticized Telegram's encryption standards, but said the initial information relating to charges against the platform looked very bad and worrying for the future of software and comms freedom in Europe. Now, other prominent figures took to X to weigh in on the developing story. We have RFK Jr., who suspended his U.S. presidential campaign August 2024, said his arrest highlighted the need to protect platforms that enable free speech and privacy. Shout out to RFK Jr. for sticking up as well. And also in his interview with Carlson, Pavel claims that Telegram had garnered unwarranted attention from the FBI and other U.S. security agencies whenever he had entered the country. The Telegram CEO claimed that the U.S. officers officers had attempted to hire one of his engineers during his last visit to the country. Now, tell me that's not sus. Quoting him here from the interview with Tucker, there was an attempt by cybersecurity officers or agents to secretly hire my engineer behind my back. What the frick? They were curious to learn which open source libraries are integrated into Telegram's app, and they tried to persuade him to use certain open source tools that would serve as backdoors. Are you starting to read between the lines? He refused to give the government backdoors until to his free speech platform, and now they're setting up with heinous crimes, just like they did the Tate brothers, the most heinous of heinous crimes. Crazy, right? Can't make this ish up. The Telegram CEO added that the FBI agents frequently stopped him upon entry into the U.S., asking him questions about the messaging service operations. And as details surrounding his arrest and the investigation into the platform remain scant, questions about the privacy features of Telegram have been raised by industry groups. On X, a post from open source privacy and security-focused mobile operating system, Graphene OS, highlighted concerns over Telegram's access to group and one-on-one chats. Now, you already know this is an attack clearly on free speech, and I got to give it up for Nayib Bukele for offering to never censor your free speech. Never get arrested. You'll never have your assets seized in El Salvador for speaking the truth and speaking your mind and exercising your right of free speech. Isn't that our First Amendment right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but nonetheless, family, there you have it. Very crazy what's going on right now. Let's discuss Toncoin getting wrecked as a result of what I just shared with Pavel, the founder of Telegram, getting arrested yesterday. Toncoin taking a steep dive in the past 24 hours with prices plummeting as panic selling surged after French authorities shockingly arrested Telegram CEO Pavel. Ton's price declined as much as 25% to reach $5.24 August 25th, a day after the news of Pavel's detention went viral. Now he faces charges related to data privacy and crypto regulation violations. Telegram has been instrumental in promoting and integrating Toncoin with its ecosystem, making Pavel a central figure of the coin's narrative and future development. As a result, some Toncoin traders have sold their holdings in panic. Now, there was an interview done about 10 years ago with Pavel, and he announced having hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. That means he's a Bitcoin billionaire today. How many billions he's worth? I don't know. We can speculate, but he is a Bitcoin billionaire, and now he's being targeted because he can't be controlled. Ton's ongoing price decline appears similar to how BNB performed in the days before the former Binance CEO CZ's sentencing. BNB fell 15% ahead of the Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao's sentencing in the United States. That was back on April 30th. However, once the legal dust settled, the crypto staged a strong recovery, surging by nearly 35% from its lows to reach almost $700 on June 6th. And when news of the legal troubles break, especially involving key figures like CZ or Pavel, it triggers a wave of panic sellers as traders rush to protect their investments from potential fallout. However, one of the initial shock subsides, the market reassesses the situation more rationally. Now, in BNB's case, after the dust settled with CZ's sentencing, traders realized that the legal issues, while significant, did not pose an existential threat to Binance, the company, or its ecosystem. This led to the psychological shift from fear to optimism as traders who had sold out of panic began to re-enter the market, driving BNB price up 35%. The same psychological pattern could play out for Toncoin. Initially, Pavel's arrest might be seen as a major red flag, leading to sharp declines as traders exit their positions. But if the market later perceives the arrest as an isolated incident that doesn't fundamentally undermine the Toncoin ecosystem, traders could start to view the dip as an opportunity buy for the panic. That's right. Now, from a technical perspective, Ton trades within a well-defined ascending channel range as seen on the daily chart. The Ton/USDT pair bounced from the channel's lower trend line, which has acted as a strong support since its formation earlier this year, as you can see on your screen on the daily chart. Additionally, Ton's RSI reading was a 37.5 August 25th, nearing its oversold threshold of 30, typically leading to consolidation or a rebound. The upper trend line of the ascending channel currently hovers near $8.50. Moving towards this level would represent a roughly 50% gain, aligning with the bullish momentum suggested by the RSI. Now, let me know, family. I'm curious, any of you invested in Toncoin? Do any of you use Telegram? Let me know your thoughts. I'm not going to get into the open interest and all of that, but as you know, there's an attack going on, and anytime there's a massive attack, the altcoin is going to suffer if the CEO gets attacked. You know what I mean? there's an attack vector, unfortunately, and that goes for every single altcoin. There's an attack vector. Let's dive into our next story of the day. Nothing but bullishness from here. We got the bad news out of the way. Now we'll discuss the bullishness. Let's discuss this next headline. There's a big bull rush coming. Bitcoin and Ethereum on course for massive gains, according to Dan Tapiero. That's right. Macro investor and fund manager Dan is expressing bullish sentiment on the Biddy and the Ethereum. In a new interview on CoinDesk, Tapiero says that Bitcoin can go up by over 56%. I like that number. 5 plus 6 is 11, just pointing out the obvious. From the current level, while Ethereum could appreciate by more than 81% from the current price over the coming months. Quoting Dan here, over the next 6 months, I think we'll be over 100,000 per Bitcoin, which means by February, fam, and probably over around 5,000 in Ethereum as well. I think there is a big bull rush coming. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Dan. And according to the macro investor and fund manager, a Federal Reserve rate cut will impact Bitcoin positively, as he shares here. When liquidity is plentiful, which I think the markets are beginning to sense that it is going to become, these liquidity assets move. And I keep saying to people, look, when the interest rate was 0, Bitcoin was around 65 G's. The peak in 2021. Now another divine omen, 6 plus 5 is 11. Just got to point out the obvious. Rates went up 5% and they're still there. And Bitcoin is now at the same price. When that short rate goes from 5% to 2.5% or 3%, Bitcoin should easily double just on that. Easy peasy. Now forget about the myriad wonderful developments going on chain and in the space and all the innovation. Forget about all of that. If you just look at that one measure, I think there is cause for being super bullish right here. Agreed. Now on the macro environment, Tapiero says, and so over the next 2, 3, 4 months, as I look out, I am very bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those to me are the core assets of the digital asset ecosystem broadly, as I'd call it. But I look at the broad background on the traditional macro, and I think it is very supportive for core crypto. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree with Dan T of 10T Holdings. Do you see Bitcoin hitting 100,000 plus easy peasy within the next 6 months? And can you see Ethereum surpassing 5,000, hitting a new all-time high within the next 6 months? And to watch the video interview he did with CoinDesk, check the show notes below the video in the description. Now for our feature story of the day. Samson Mow of Jan 3 was recently interviewed, and he doubled down on his prediction that the Biddy, the Bitcoin price, will hit $1 million within the next 12 months, and he breaks down why he believes that is to happen. So let's break this baby down. Let's start with some new tweets, and then we'll dive into the stories in which were published on the back of that. But this is coming from this particular interview right here. If you haven't watched it, be sure to check it out. There's a clip, Bitcoin to $1 million sooner than you think, and in which he breaks down why he is so confident that that will happen. A $1 million Bitcoin price within the next 12 months, which means sometime in 2025 for the cycle peak. But let's dive and start with his actual tweet he wrote. Someone was criticizing me on Nostr, and Nostr is ultimately the decentralized version of X. Probably on my fast $1 million prediction. I wonder what they think a ridiculous dollar price is. Exactly. Let's assume Bitcoin did go to $1 million. Interest payments on the US debt will reach $1 trillion next year. That's 1 million BTC if BTC was at 1 million, which is 4.76% of the supply. Debt is 35 trillion and unfunded liabilities is 218 trillion. That's a total of 253 million BTC if BTC was at $1 million. 12x the total supply of Bitcoin. Inflation is probably at 10% to 150% in real terms. And amen to that, because we all know they don't have inflation under control. We all know inflation isn't under 3% and that they lie to us, so respect. Now, all of these numbers are already ridiculous when priced in Bitcoin at $1 million. Do people really think that the broken fiat system will be plodding along forever? It seems more likely we see a break and Bitcoin goes up very rapidly in a short time frame. I agree with that as well. There is no such thing as ridiculous fiat price of Bitcoin. What is ridiculous is that Bitcoin still even has a fiat price, and that will end sooner rather than later. Very powerful words. And so he was responding to this comment. But you, on the other hand, again and again, are promoting insane high preference thinking when procrastinating ridiculous dollar prices in a very short time perspective. You may be directionally correct, but you have hurt your credibility. a lot the last couple of years. So I obviously disagree with that FUD. I mean, I get the same ish thrown at me. JV, every episode has a prediction. Bitcoin going 100,000. We never even hit 80,000. You idiot. How dare you? Prediction means future, idiots. Just got to keep it 100. But anyways, I digress. So he also wrote here, any price under 0.1 mil, which is 100,000, is still a Bitcoin on sale. I agree with that. It gets a repost from me 100%. And again, if you want to watch this interview, this is a clip of him making that prediction of why he believes Bitcoin hits 1 million within the next 12 months. But it's also, we'll talk about it further on these particular articles. This article says Bitcoin developer Samson Mow says Bitcoin will rise to 1 million and when. And then this one, Bitcoin Maxi CEO expects 0.01 million as a threshold for the Bitcoin sale. So, and I think they mean obviously 0.1 million, which would be 100,000. Sometimes a lot of these article sources make errors in which I correct in the flesh real time as I'm reading them out. If you haven't figured it out, now you know. Anyways, according to Samson, Bitcoin is at its sale moment, telling people that the price below 100,000 are what the smart investors want. Agreed. He quoted any price below 100,000 is still a Bitcoin on sale, insinuating that when Bitcoin reaches this price, the sale will then come to the end. On August 23rd, we saw one of the largest price surges as it gained over 6% from 60,700 to almost touching 65. It followed after a comment by Fed Chairman Jay Powell on interest rate cuts, most of which investors were taking as positive signs for the crypto market. And amidst the price fluctuations, Bitcoin retested 64, which we're currently still sitting above, which is pretty nice. And it's radically going up. This did not only push Bitcoin, but also the alts up, whose prices leaped up too. Mow's predictions are pegged to the recent structural changes in the Bitcoin market. He points to the approval of the Bitcoin ETFs, which have aggressively been accumulating liquidity since January 11th. Now, these ETFs are said to be purchasing thousands of Bitcoins daily, thus creating a huge demand shock. In fact, BlackRock's already done over 20 billion in volume since January 11th. And according to Samson, this coupled with the supply shock that resulted from the recent halving event, which brought a drop in the Bitcoin block reward, will make for a perfect mix to catalyze a dramatic price increase. Now let's dive deeper into the Milli price prediction. Mow is rather vocal about his long-term price projections. He claims that the Bitty may see 1 million within 1 year, if not sooner. His reasoning is that the current market dynamics favor such a rise, with huge demand for Bitcoin against a dwindling supply. He expresses that confidence because he believes the market will absorb all the sales of Bitcoin no matter the fluctuation. He places special emphasis on the fact investors who understand money live in inflationary environments or come from oppressive regimes are likely to see Bitcoin as a safe haven asset. And that's right, Bitcoin's going where no man has gone before, to the moon. Now, in relation to this, the discussion of the Bitcoin price is not just a clear-cut case of speculation. It relates directly to general economic conditions, macroeconomic factors, etc. Comments have come at a time when many were already eyeing alternative investment vehicles due to the rising inflation and general economic uncertainty. Now, basically, he mentioned that the unique properties of the Bitcoin is set as a preferred choice for those seeking to protect wealth from losses. Amen to that. Now, there's also the Veblen effect and the psychology of the market. Let's break it down. One of the more intriguing aspects of Mow's analysis was his reference to what is called the Veblen effect, where consumers tend to keep buying a product even as it gets more expensive, partly because of its perceived value. Mow pointed out that this is going to be huge in the case of Bitcoin. As the price of Bitcoin increases, so are more and more investors who can potentially be attracted to the digital asset, not only by return, but it can also give by the value it holds. There are psychological drivers that might fuel demand even further, giving rise to the self-reinforcing cycle of investment. So there you have it. Now, Samson Mow, very bold projection, but he makes very valid points, and he's just not saying that, in my opinion, for attention or clicks. He says it because he believes it. He understands Bitcoin, unlike most people, really don't understand it. So he can see it happening. A lot of people are not visionaries. They can only see what has already happened in the past. And those why we have trolls that say, Bitcoin's never even going to 100,000. It never even broke 80. But they don't understand. We're looking into the future, right? From 50,000, do you know 1 million is only a 20x? Do you know how easily Bitcoin can 20x considering it's up like 70 million %-ish from its inception? 70 million-ish %. So to question Bitcoin going up 20x is pure ignorance, in my humble opinion. But let me know your 2 Satoshis. Let me know your thoughts regarding Samson Mow projecting $1 million Bitcoin price within the next 12 months. Do you see it? What's the probability? What are the chances of it happening? In your humble opinion, keeping it 100. Let me know.